All right, so this is something that I've very recently, just a few minutes ago, kind of thing, talked about. Here's a video from the National Post, and they're talking about Trudeau's gun ban won't stop gang violence. Now, this video is good. It's got some good information. It's fairly short. This is Jamil Javani. So, absolutely, you can go to YouTube and watch this video here if you want. Long and the short of it is, most Canadian homicides are not committed with a gun. Shootings represent 74% of gang homicides. These murders are more difficult to solve. In the case of stabbings, police were able to lead charges, etc., to lay charges. Okay, the rise in Canadian homicide rate can almost exclusively be blamed on gang-related killings, which represented 23% of all murders. It also constituted a significant share of the country's shooting deaths. Okay, so. And of this here, there was a particular thing study done, and of 58 traceable guns seized by investigators from the Guns and Gang Task Force, 57 had crossed the U.S. border via the Iron Highway from Texas and Arizona. Just one was from Canada, a stolen legal handgun. So again, if we enact this gun ban that Trudeau is trying to implement, we will remove virtually no guns from the people who are using them to kill others. Now, Jamil here goes on to talk about, how we should be focusing on gangs and bail reform rather than taking guns off the streets, or rather than making guns illegal, I should say. But he doesn't address the greater and more pertinent point that I think needs to be made. And I'm not saying he's not aware of this or he doesn't have thoughts on this, but it's not in this video. So that point is, the government has access to all these statistics that he's talking about here, all these amounts of percentages with guns and percentages of gang related and all this other stuff. Okay, the government has access to all that kind of information, all that data. So the question then becomes, if removing the guns from population and making these guns illegal for the average Canadian to have is actually not going to change the amount of killings that are done, not in any appreciable way. What is the reason for doing it? It's not because they're stupid, although frankly I think people that are in positions of authority oftentimes are not the most intelligent. They are simply those who are able to either grease palms or kiss ass enough to get to those positions of power. But the greater issue isn't that they don't know that that won't make a difference or that they believe it will make a difference. The greater issue is they don't care, because that's not their purpose for removing the weapons from the population. The greater purpose for them is to remove the weapons from the population. That is the goal in and of itself. Because the more the population does not have weapons with which to defend themselves against the tyranny of governments, the more that population is at the mercy of the government. So there was a thing a number of years ago, and I could probably try to look it up, but I'm not going to be bothered to right now, where I think it was in Montreal or Quebec or something, okay? Either a city or a province, basically made it illegal for people to have wood-burning stoves or something like that. It was wood-burning stoves or wood-burning fireplaces in their house. They had to have like regular sort of gas or electric heating or something like that. But why would they do that? So there were people saying, oh, we love our wood-burning whatever, gas stove or heat or fireplace, whatever. But it seems to me, because exactly, that makes people self-sufficient. If they are able to take care of themselves, they do not need the government. So what is the rationale? What is ultimately the only real purpose for doing this? Now, they can soft sell it on a bunch of different reasons, but ultimately it's because they want people at the mercy of the government. That's why. Same thing here. If they remove the guns, you are at the mercy of the government. Not only for protection in the fact that the RCMP is the government police force or some local police force, but also literally you are at the mercy of the government. They say jump, You now have to jump. You can't say, you know what? I don't feel like jumping today. Thank you. I'm not going to do it. So there was a video out with the ArriveCan app, for example. And there was a woman with her old father. And this guy's like 70, 80 years old, something like that. He doesn't even own a cell phone. And they're telling this woman, who's the man's daughter, that she needs to put the app on her phone for him so that they can sort of have him on her phone or something like that. And she's saying, why do I have to do that? And they just keep saying, why wouldn't you? You're his daughter, like your family. Why won't you do it? Why won't you do it? And she's like, because I don't think I should. And he's like, well, just do it. Just do it. Why won't you do it? And the proper answer is, I don't want to freaking do it. That's the answer. But suddenly, if the government has more control over people, it doesn't become, I don't want to do it. It becomes, it doesn't become the government saying, why won't you do it? It's the government now saying, you're going to do it. And at the end of that, there's the unspoken threat. You're going to do it or else. Okay? And we saw what or else can be during the trucker rebellion, when they froze people's bank accounts, when they got them frozen from paying their mortgages, when they prevented them from accessing property that was theirs, when they stole their property, when they took gas cans and gas tanks from the truckers so they couldn't stay warm in the freezing conditions. Okay? And if you think it's going to stop there, you're a fool, because things only ever get more. When government has power in a situation like that and they get away with it, they will go for more next time. They will push and they will push. They will push those extremities as much as they can. So that is the real reason. And this guy here, Jamil Javani, he doesn't talk about it. Maybe he hasn't thought about it. I don't know. Maybe he has more faith in the government. He's really believing that the government is trying to stop gun violence or killings by guns. I am not so forgiving in my attribution of their intentions. Okay? I think this is exactly what they want. They don't care about those numbers. They don't care about stopping crimes. They don't care about stopping killings. They care about getting weapons out of the hands of good, honest, law-abiding citizens.